Start, sir.
Okay, anyone is there? I mean, any student with some query or something? Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Any student is there? Well, I don't see. I mean, only this is our team only.
Vikramjit, are you watching the YouTube link? Hello.
This is only our team only. No student of the course. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. You are audible, sir.
Yeah, but there is no student. I mean,
No. Please continue, sir. They will join after few minutes later.
yeah. So Professor Behera has also joined. So we can wait for a few minutes and then maybe if some student comes and have some query, we can discuss, or we can have some general discussion about the course.
Sir, I think we can start the discussion. Meanwhile, students may join.
Okay,
So,
okay.
so I'm starting. So good evening, everyone. It is a pleasure to welcome you all of you, to this second live session, where we will discuss the key aspects of this course, answer your queries, and gain deeper insights into the sustainable mining practices and the role of uh, geoinformation technology, as well as the sustainable mining aspects. So I welcome Professor Prusty and Professor MD Behera, sir. So uh, first, I request Professor Prusty, sir, to please start.
Vikramjit, this session,
Yes, sir.
this is covering which lectures? Lecture number? Can you just give some idea which lectures we are discussing in this live session?
Sir, it is for the week 5, week 7, and week 8.
Week 7 and
Sir, week 5, week 6, week 7, and week 8.
okay, week 5 to week 8. That's
Yes,
that
sir.
correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So week 5, I think after week 5, my lecture was also there. So let me just give some.
Week 5 and week 6 was yours, sir, and week 7 and week 8 was Professor Behar, sir.
Okay, okay. So week 5, I think that was my initial classes I started. That is lecture 20. And initially I discussed about the importance of the minerals. So what are the different minerals that are very critical for our Indian economy? How and why these minerals are critical for the Indian economy? That we have discussed. I have discussed about the different classification of the minerals and as per their uses, and also recently the critical mineral also I have discussed, and having that is I have discussed using 2 classes, and after that I took 2 classes on the environmental impact of the mining extraction process. What are the different environmental impact? And from that, I came to the topic of sustainable development. We defined the concept of sustainable development. I gave a historical how this concept of sustainable development came, the historical development of the concept of the sustainable development, and particularly the Brundtland report, the definition that came from the Brundtland report, and then how the original definition of the sustainable development can be twisted or tweaked so that it can be made applicable to a resource which is depleting, which is non-renewable, just like the mineral resources. So how the definition is picked so that it can be applicable for a non-renewable depleting mineral resources. And then we discussed about the sustainable development framework. We have to use the concept of sustainable development for mining industry. There has to be some framework parameters. So the ICMM, Sustainable Development Framework Parameters, and ICMM, that is basically International Council of Minerals and Metals. Most of the big mining company, particularly the large multinational mining companies like BHP, Rio Tinto, Anglo American, all these, they are part of the ICMM, and they use the Sustainable Development Framework, which was developed by the ICMM, and Government of India, particularly the Ministry of Mines, they also developed a Sustainable Development Framework which will be applicable to our industry. They studied the ICMM Sustainable Development Framework report also, but they did not take all the framework parameters. They consider those parameters which are more relevant to the Indian mining industry. So in that context, there are, I think, 6 or 7 parameters which was mostly followed, recommended by the Ministry of Mines, so that the Indian mining company, they can use those parameters for the application for implementation of sustainable development in the Indian mines. So this is the concept I have discussed about in the fifth week, if I remember, fifth week. And Professor Behera, if you want to add something, maybe.
Uh, 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 so before Professor Behra, you start. So let me add. So this course has been designed to give a comprehensive understanding of how the mining activities can be made more sustainable with the help of geospatial technologies. So as we know that geoinformation helps us to see, analyze, and manage Earth's surface resources with accuracy. So using satellite images, drones, GIS tools, so we can make mining more efficient and more sustainable. So, so now I request Professor Behra to please uh, add more about on this part, on our part. Sir, you are muted, sir.
Yeah, Bikramjit, can you share that statistics in terms of you shared me a PPT where we have seen those 36 students, their background, their reporting. You shared it nicely with respect to the PPT. Can you please share that? Just take a while.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Professor Behera, should I continue maybe about the week 9 one?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Then you
that
can.
will be good.
That will be good. Okay. So I discussed about the week 6 actually, the lectures that I took. Then in the week 9, basically I came to the policy aspect, Indian regulations. So what are the which regulations are suggesting or encouraging the mining industry to implement the sustainable development, because sustainable development, apart from a few regulations till now, until very recently it was not mandatory. So it was kind of a voluntary kind of thing. But now it has become mandatory in terms of the star rating system that we all know. So I started with what are the different mining legislations and under which sections the concept of sustainable development is coming. So I started with the mineral conservation development rules, and there what are the sections under which we are talking about sustainable development. And then I talked about the Land Acquisition Act. Since the mining industry is very particularly surface mines, open cast mines, it is land intensive, and there are a lot of issues with respect to the land acquisition. And as you know, in the sustainable development, there are 3 main pillars: environment, and economics, and the society. So in the social domain, the land acquisition is very, very important. How to develop, how the government of India, they have brought out the act, particularly with respect to the resettlement and rehabilitation, how to give a fair compensation to the people which are affected by the acquisition of the land. So that we talked about this, the Land Acquisition Act, that act came in 2013. So what are the different provisions? Because the project affected persons, PAP, they are a very important part of the community. So when we tell about what will be the impact on the society and what will be the impact on the community, so this PAP are a very critical part. So the Land Acquisition Act is also very, very critical, that we have discussed in detail using 2 classes. And then another very important aspect about the sustainable development, it is in the environment domain, is the mine closure. So there are, when the mine is working, there are various regulations, environmental regulations that the mine has to comply with, and different statutory offices like State Pollution Control Board, Central Pollution Control Board. So they have to submit different annual statutory reports to these offices, and also the representatives from these offices, they also from time to time visit the mine site, just to ensure that all the critical environmental regulations are complied with. And as you know, State Pollution Control Board, every year they have to give a no objection certificate. So so these are the regulations, they are applicable when the mine is working. But the impact of the mine does not end when the mine closes. Mine can close for various reasons, but let's say the predominant reason is that the minerals are exhausted, mineral reserve is exhausted, and mine is going to close. Now, the environmental impact is happening during the active mining phases, but when the mine closes, it doesn't necessarily mean that the environmental impact will vanish. So the environmental impact will be there for very, very long time, even after the closure of the mining. So in the year, I think 2006, this regulation, the guidelines, actually it is not regulation, the guidelines from the Ministry of Environment, and then it subsequently, that guideline was passed through Ministry of Mines and Ministry of Coal also, and very formal, what is the specific structure through which the format through which the mine closure planning has to be prepared. I mean, when the mine, when a new mine has to open, the leasehold, the leaseholder, they have to apply, apply with a mine plan. It has to be approved, and then mine can start. Now, this mine closure regulation, once it came, now they have to have a chapter on mine closure. Even when you are submitting your mine plan, there will be a chapter on the mine closure for the new mines, and for those existing mines which are running there and they have significant life remaining. Now, there was, when they took the mine plan, when their mine plan was approved, there was no provision for mine closure, and it is going on. And now it is required that even those mines which are operating for a long time, and that time there was no regulation for mine closure, now they also have to submit a plan that is called mine closure plan. And we have 2 types of mine closure plan: progressive mine closure plan and final mine closure plan. And how these plans will be executed, and when the mine is going to close, what are the different activities that the mine has to undertake, execute, so that all the environmental pollution, environmental problems, environmental, whether it is water pollution, whether it is land degradation, whether it is the loss of biodiversity. So what are the remedial measures they have to take for the treatment of the natural resource system, like soil, like water bodies, aquifers, or the forest, or the biodiversity, or the ecology. So that is the mine closure plan. And also the second part, which is very important in the mine closure plan, is that all this environmental remediation, it will require expenditure, it will require investment, and mine is going to close. So who is going to fund that mine remediation? So there in that mine closure regulation, there is provision for financial assurance that when the mine is operating every year, depending on what is their leasehold area, they have to deposit certain amount of money, which we call it mine closure cost. The mine closure cost is calculated, and what is the life of the mine, it is divided with the number of the years that the mine will be operating. And there are some formula that we have discussed in the class. So every year they have to deposit that money. That is called financial assurance. And when the mine closes, the mining company is supposed to carry out all the remedial measures that the mine has assured in the mine closure plan. So they will complete, execute all the remedial measures, and then it has to be, they have to produce a certificate which will be, there will be a third party auditing, third party certification process. So third party will also go and certify that, okay, the mine has completed or the executed all the remedial measures. And then that money which was deposited with the government of India, the mine can claim that one after completing all the remedial measures. Now, in case the mine fails to execute the remedial action, mine for any reason, then now the government or society doesn't have to bother where the money will come from for carrying out these remedial measures. So because already the mine has been depositing the money in a escrow account, and that money is lying with the government of India. So if the mine authority does not carry out the remedial measure, then the government of India, it can float a tender that such environmental remedial closure activity needs to be carried out, and then the parties, private parties, or even government parties who have experience in carrying out this kind of activity, that tender, that work can be given to those company or those agencies, and they will carry out all the remedial measures, and then the mine closure will be done, so that there is no residual environmental impact of the mining activity. So that was about environmental mine closure. It is about week, I think week 9. So are we talking also week 10 here or only week 9?
I think up to that it should be okay.
Okay.
Because
So
in
this
the last one
is
we'll
all
take.
I covered in
Yeah.
the week 9, that is the Regulation, Land Acquisition Act, then Resettlement Rehabilitation Rule, and Environmental Mine Closure. This was my part in this session.
Sir, actually, there's a query question.
Okay.
Abhay Parmar is asking, apart from routine study, what additional studies / data collection to be carried out when carrying out environmental impact assessment for a project surrounded by a cluster of other mines, especially in the coal mining areas?
Okay. Do I have the question in the written form?
Yes, sir, it is in the chat.
It is in the chat.
In the YouTube section, sir. In the YouTube. So shall I reread the
In the
question?
YouTube. I mean, we are in the Zoom, na?
No, this session is actually live on YouTube, sir.
I mean, I don't Zoom. Can I see it, the chat? And the chat is there. Let me see. Message to. There is no message in the Zoom. Actually, I am not able to see.
So let me try if I can copy the
You can
comment.
copy that in the Zoom, and then I can see probably. The chat is there. Let me see. Message to. No message in the Zoom. Actually, I am not able to see.
So let me try if I can copy the
You can copy that in the Zoom, and then I can see probably. Okay, Abhay Parva, apart from routine study, what additional studies, data collection to be carried out when carrying out EIA for projects surrounded by a cluster of other mines, especially in coal mining areas. Also what to include while asserting impact zone of mine closure in our project social impact. Okay, the social impact assessment study actually, probably I might have discussed briefly, but not I have taken the full class. I had a lecture. I was planning to talk about
Sir,
this
please
one.
mute the YouTube. Sir, please mute the YouTube.
Okay, the social impact assessment study actually. Okay, so now to answer your first part, that if your mine is surrounded by a cluster of other mines in the coal mining area. See, now this is a typical problem in the coal mining area, that your mine is surrounded by other mines as well as maybe power plant also. So in that case, particularly, there is something called a source apportionment study. Particularly, in the air pollution, we use this study. Source apportionment study. That means the impact. Let us talk about air pollution so that you can understand. Let's say because of your mining activity, there is particulate matter, dust pollution. Now that dust pollution, that may be
Sir,
generated.
please mute the YouTube, sir. It is creating echo. Sir, please mute.
Who has it? I don't have YouTube. I don't have YouTube. My YouTube is not open. So I don't. My YouTube is not open. Okay.
Okay, sir. Now it's okay. Now it's okay, sir.
Yeah. No. My YouTube is not open. So So this when there is a group of mines and mines as well as other kind of industry, because in the coal mining area you will have power plant. Most of the many cases you have a power plant also. So they are the air pollution particularly. Let's take example of air pollution. This air pollution is coming from the mines, from your mine and other mines, and also from the power plant. Now, how to establish that certain pollution is only because of your mining activity, not from other mines, not from the power plant, or not from other sources. Like there may be a highways going somewhere nearby. So from the highway also, the air pollution may also happen. So to establish what is your contribution and what is not your contribution, there is a specific study that is being done that is called as source apportionment study. I mean, how much you are contributing, how much is your contribution. So there is a study called source apportionment study. So if you do the source apportionment study, then you can roughly establish what is your contribution or what is the environmental impact because of your mine. So that is one way of doing this one. And the second part you are asking zone of mine closure in our project social impact assessment study. Social impact assessment study. So the social impact assessment study, I think I have not covered this one, but what I have, we have covered it in the land acquisition. In the Land Acquisition Act, we have covered part of the social, and that is only that those locations or villages or land that you are acquiring for your project. For your project, you are acquiring certain area. It may be agricultural land, it may be residential area. So only those area that you are acquiring, that is your impact zone for the social impact assessment study. Because if you remember, before developing the draft R&R policy. Before developing the draft R&R policy, the administrator, he has to carry out the social impact assessment, where he has to establish the social profile of those areas, like how many families are being displaced, what is the number of family head, what is their skill set, what is their education level, what is their income level, and there are so many information. There are different questionnaires, and using those data, he prepared the draft R&R scheme. He prepares the draft and R&R scheme based on the company R&R policy and based on the state R&R policy. So there, the area that we are talking about is that geographic area which the mine is acquiring. So I think that you are talking about. But in the broader sense, when you carry out the particularly EIA EMP, when you study, there is also a chapter on the social impact assessment. So there you have the core area and the periphery area. There the concept is little different. There you have the core area where people are getting displaced. That is the direct PAP, direct area where the people have their land ownership and you are acquiring that land. So that is the PAP, project affected. They are the direct PAP. But let's say agricultural land, even if some persons, they don't own the agricultural land, but they are working as a agricultural laborer, and their livelihood is coming from that land. So they are known as indirect PAP. So those people, they may live in the periphery area, not exactly in the same area. So there, you can say the direct PAP and indirect PAP. So there also we carry out some social impact assessment study. So there are some guidelines like, what is the core area and what is the impact area. Impact area, if there is a boundary, for example, there is a forest can be taken as a boundary. If there is a river can be taken as a boundary. If there is a some breeze is there, so breeze can be taken as a boundary. So this side from the forest or from the river or from the river bridge towards the project site, that is the core area impact zone, and beyond that, that is called periphery. So in that sense, I think I am able to, probably you got what you are wanted. Probably I have answered you. I don't know whether I have understood your question properly. So this will be my answer. Okay, so this question I have answered. If there is any other question.
Yeah, my question is, now this candidate has answered the question and you have so nicely responded the question, but he is not there to listen. So what is the fun, or it is getting recorded so that he can listen it afterwards? How is it maybe NPTEL people are here? Because if we are responding
This
to the
question,
queries put in chat box.
sir, this question was actually on the YouTube. So someone watching on the YouTube live has given this question in the comment section. So since sir was not able to see the comment section, so I just copied and pasted in the chat section, sir.
Yeah, that is fine, Bikramjit. But if NPTEL people are there, they can approach us, because we are responding to the queries put in YouTube or chat box. But if the respondent is not there, then our response is also is it being recorded? And anybody?
Yes, sir. It's recorded, and
Yeah.
after the live session, the link will provide it to the student.
Okay, so they can listen to
Yes.
our response later. Huh?
Right, sir. Right.
Okay, no problem. No problem.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any other query that is there? Any other query from my portion?
So in this particular course, if you see out of the 342 enrolled, and 20 to 30 age group are 222. So that is the maximum. So it looks like more of students and young practitioners and young researchers. So that is a very good 222 out of 340 approximately are between age group 20 to 30. And 86% of male, but importantly 15% are female. So 85 and 15, I'm sorry, 85 and 15%. So that's a kind of description. And apart from the distribution as far as global is concerned, from India 321, but we also have students from Ghana, Jordan, Cameroon, Zambia, Zimbabwe, South Africa, Botswana, Canada. So that means these places, a lot of mining are also being practiced. So in the past instance, this course has attracted attention of a lot of mining interested people beyond India. So that is a good thing. And out of India, India's 221, 100 are from Jharkhand. So it's the dominant place where a lot of mining is there. And Odisha is just 18. So West Bengal is 26. So that's a kind of demography distribution. And yes, so out of this 342, about 260 are students and about 50 are employed, and faculty also about 20. So that is also a good number. So a lot of students, employed people, and faculty are interested. So it serves it caters to our purpose, because it serves our purpose, because we have designed it accordingly so that the students, employed people, particularly mining practitioners, and the faculty also will be benefited. And out of this, the bachelor fourth year students are at the top, about 95 close to, and next to that is about 55 diplomas. So we have a good kind of distribution. And importantly, the youngest is 18 years old and the oldest is 64 years old. So people after at very high level, are, you say, senior people also are taking interest. So that's a good distribution as far as age group is concerned. So it is perfectly fine. We have discussed up to 8th week the different different topics we have covered. Sustainable mining and geoinformation. So within these 6 weeks are involved in terms of the geoinformation is concerned, and 2 weeks have been in terms of introduction to sustainability as far as mining is concerned. So nicely. So with this, probably our students maybe they may be taking a lot of interest, finding our lecture notes and the videos useful, and we are sure that they will keep putting a lot of queries if they have. But the recordings and the handouts are so sufficient and so nicely designed that perhaps that itself is self-explanatory. So these are the few things probably from our side. And as far as the SDG measurables using the Earth observation data adopted, we out of the 17 SDGs, we particularly in the sixth and seventh, I'm sorry, in the seventh and eighth week, we have covered all the 16 out of 17 SDGs. So one has been left out, the 16th one, that is on peace, justice, and strong institutions. Apart from that, rest of the 16 SDGs are covered, which have an application using the geoinformation. And I'm sure the participants will definitely benefit out of this. And we also look forward to their query in terms of enriching our experience and to and for betterment in future. Thank you very much. I think we have been discussing this, and I think it is okay, Professor Prusty.
So before we wrap up, I would like to thank Professor Prusty sir and Professor Behera sir for delivering such insightful information and answering the queries. I also like to thank the NPTEL team. A special thanks to all for the participation and the engagement. So sustainable mining is the need of the hour, as we know, and knowledge everyone will gain here will play a vital role in shaping more responsible and resource efficient future. So if anyone has any further queries, feel free to post them on the discussion forum. Stay engaged, keep learning, and let's work together making mining more sustainable with the power of geoinformation. Thank you all. Have a great day.
Thank you, sir.
So
Thank you.
we are stopping it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.